How do you guys feel about the all the bad gaming news we've been getting lately? No more physical discs for PlayStation. Xbox announced more layoffs and studio closures / selling off studios. Because they're basically doing a big old reset. Or rather not Xbox, but Microsoft, including Xbox. So Microsoft themselves are just laying off like thousands of people, and then including an Xbox employees, so or Xbox their own studios and shit. Yeah, I know. I mean, basically, no more discs, and I mean, we're still gonna get Nintendo, but for how much longer, you know? Like, Nintendo's already starting to slowly, lean towards the digital, and even the physical cartridges aren't including the full game, and they're just including like a license for the game, and you download the game offline, which is again garbage. Makes it like a half digital, half physical game. Because like even if you go play the game, because even though you got it digitally, like a whatever, like the key card, and it's a digital game, basically, that you still need the cartridge to play the game. You can't just load it up without the cartridge. Because it needs that license check. When people make fun of them. Yeah, I know, it's ridiculous. It's getting funny and ridiculous at the same time, like, Jesus. Like dominoes and shit. I'd say we're going towards like an all digital future, I really do. I'm gonna really miss like physical games, being able to go down to the store and buying games. And I was thinking about maybe showing off some of my collection. That's something that's showing off here on stream. You'd have a rare collection, yeah, I would. So many people are making. Okay. First it was VRC. A VCR discontinued, DVD almost completely gone. Blu-ray is talking about discontinuing. Yeah. Well, Sony is the Blu-ray company, and I think they already announced that they're gonna start doing away with that too. Almost everything. I know it's getting to be ridiculous. It's starting to be sad. Yeah, I kind of want to just like show off my games and be like, hey, this is my collection. Maybe do a little bit at a time, because I have like way too many games to try and do like on one session. So I could probably do like, I was thinking maybe do like my PS1 to PS3 collection, and then like do like a part 2 with my PS4 and PS5, because I have so many games for PS4 and PS5. It's ridiculous. I wouldn't say it's like on the level of like an actual like collector, like you see the collectors on like YouTube. Like it's not at that level, but it's still a lot. Definitely way more than the average person would have. You're having the GameFly? Yeah, someone was bringing that up too. I don't know what's gonna happen with them. I mean, there's GameStop too. But GameStop's sort of already been trying to head towards this direction of just being more of a like a merch store rather than a place you go buy games. So I think what GameStop's gonna do is just gonna be straight like. They will sell Pokemon cards, and they'll sell merch, and then they'll probably still sell like digital downloads codes. PlayStation said that would still be a thing. They said that in their statement. But like going into a store and buying a physical game, going like buying this isn't going to be a thing anymore. Like it's just. And yeah, it's gonna be sad. Like literally, like when we buy GTA 2, when GTA announced it's gonna be like, basically there's not gonna be like a physical edition. There is, but there isn't. Like, but the physical copies, this is what it's gonna be. It's just gonna be you're gonna get the box and you're gonna open it up and like here's your download code. Enjoy. Like that's it. This is the game. I want the experience of picking up games. Yeah, it's like come on, man. A lot of people are like. And I think too is that I think I heard that someone actually ran the numbers, that there's still more of a percentage. Somebody came out and said that, or I don't think they said, but they basically said that there's more people buying digital games than physical games, and then there are actually people online that ran the numbers, and there's still more people buying physical games. And there are also people online saying that like they're against this because like they want the option. You know, it's like, yeah, I do, like people who are coming out and saying I buy like digital games, but I still would prefer to have the option in case I do want that. And yeah, like, so another thing too is like it's going to affect GameFly. It's going to affect Limited Run Games. I know that there's like, you know, Limited Run Games is a whole nother story. They have a bunch of drama going on with them, but you know, regardless, it's still their business, right? Their business to sell physical games, especially for the indie games who wouldn't normally have the ability to get physical games. Like they work with those games. Like I could get the master. Like if I was able to get the masters on PlayStation or Xbox, whatever. Like I could have worked with them to then get a physical copy made. I did reach out to them. They said that it would do that, but my obstacle for that was to get it on consoles, which I just couldn't do, unfortunately. But they did say that they would have worked with me. I get buying digital games because my kids, but still, yeah, exactly. Like the option is still nice. Like for kids, yeah, I get it. Like it did give them the digital game. They don't give a shit about it for the most part. You know, maybe some kids like or like, I prefer the digital. But like most kids don't care about the digital, and they don't care to take care of it. So like buying digital is definitely more convenient for them because they just want to play the game, right? Whereas like you get older, it's like you start to care about it more, and that's just gonna go away. And kids moving forward won't have that won't have the option to experience it either. They won't have the option of going into a store and buying a game. They won't have that ability to experience that anymore because it's just gonna go away. So if I have a child time in the future, I'm not gonna be able to take them down to the store and buy a game anymore. You know, unless a mom and pop store is still open that's still buying games. They'll do fine. The people who are like like mom and pop places that sell retro games, like I think they're they should probably start seeing business rise a little bit because of the want to experience that and the want to go buy these games. So they'll do fine actually. This is kind of more of like a good thing for them in a way, but even then that won't last forever. Because it's like people will still want the new games. The new games will only be digital. So this is Player.one. I don't know much about the website or this article, but this is a recent article that was dropped about 15 hours ago. Like it looks like technically today. Probably late last night. Anyways, on the main reasons for shift towards all digital game experience is the experience of disc-free consoles. Companies like Sony has revealed that the production of physical games is costly and no longer feasible. Yes, right there. So they come out and say that it's no longer feasible, right? So then an analyst by Dr. Serkan Toto, CEO of Gatan Games Inc., breaks down the actual cost structure between both formats for standard $70 games. For physical disc release, first-party publishers typically lose around 35% of their earnings to production, shipping, and retail costs. Third-party studios face a steeper cut closer to 50%. So, first-party publishers would be Xbox, PlayStation, and Nintendo, right? So they lose about 35%. And then third-party, which would be... So that would be like studios that aren't owned by the publishers, I believe. So, what's like a third-party studio? I can't think of one off the top of my head. But you have to say that any like a third-party studio, right? So they face a steeper cut of 50% because they also have to pay licensing fees to platform holders like Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo. So any studio that's not owned by these companies lose more, right? Digital releases change, but it's interesting too because Sony is the one that's saying it's no longer feasible, and yet they're only losing 35% compared to other studios who still want this, I think, and they lose 50%. They're losing more. They're losing less than the third party, and they're still acting like this is still a problem. Continue on. Digital releases change that math considerably as third-party publishers selling digitally still pay a 30% cut to the platform's digital store. That makes sense, which works out to roughly $21 on a $70 game. That leaves them with around $49 in revenue per sale, but first-party studios skip the fee entirely, keep the full $70. Yeah, that's another thing too. They're keeping that money. Third party has to pay all these fees and shit. Again and again, but the guys who aren't losing any money really, other than just to manufacture the disc, are still acting like it's a pain in the ass, and it's like we're losing money. According to Dr. Toto's analysis via Game Rant, the shift to digital can increase publishers' profit margin by as much as 54% compared to physical sales. That makes sense. Okay. That gap substantially enough to explain why platform holders are increasingly nudging customers toward digital purchase. Right, because even if we're losing money, we can still, even if we don't lose money, we can still have them all go towards the digital sale, sell at the same price as the physical, and we make money. It's worth noting that the figures used in the analysis do not account for sales tax, regional production costs, or platform-specific policies like policies that could affect the other final numbers. Dr. Toto himself acknowledges that the analysis is not exact science, since publishers rarely disclose their full cost structure publicly. Of course they don't, because they never do. Because once they show the truth, then it's like, okay, well then you're bad, right? And that incentive only grows as a base game price rises above the $70 mark, aka GTA with the $80 price in other games, right? Sony announced earlier this month that it will stop producing new physical game discs starting January 2028. Decision drew significant backlash from players who value ownership and ability to resell games. AI me! Reports have also pointed towards Microsoft's upcoming next-gen console, Project Helix, potentially launching... I just realized that this was really small. I apologize, guys. Alright, where was I? Reports have also pointed towards Microsoft's upcoming next-gen Project Helix, potentially launching without a disk drive, following a similar path. Industry analysis Pierce Harden Rolls has noted that the push towards digital-only sales represents a long-term opportunity that benefits developers and publishers at the expense of consumer flexibility. With GTA 6 already pricing at standard edition at $80, the windows for higher revenue from digital sales widen further. Financial incentives for platforms accelerate the transition, only getting stronger. So I was hoping that maybe they would point out. There's also petitions going on, yeah. I was hoping that they would point out, like, let's see, gaming consultant analysis has shed light on the numbers, what the numbers could look like for companies like PlayStation and Xbox, all digital future. Much as 54%, the places analysis has shockwaves. Expecting the Xbox to follow suit and abandon, yeah, we're still expecting that. Follow suit and abandon physical games. One of the initial arguments the PlayStation's favor was that more than 80% of gamers were already buying digital games, making the move seem more inevitable. However, analysis later challenged that claim, arguing that digital purchases account for the largest shares of sales because they include a much broader range of content, such as DLC. They believe PlayStation has abandoned the disc only to boost profits. But yeah, that's basically, I'm kind of the same mind here. According to analysis, okay, it's the same guy. 35% of earnings from each physical disc sales from a first-party game only goes to production, shipping, and retail costs. Okay, so this is the same information we got from the last article here. He says, Dr. Contato says, that means from a pure financial perspective, Sony and Microsoft, and Nintendo are more incentivized to shun physical media on both an absolute and relative basis. Industry analysis Pierce Harden Rolls also notes that digital-only game sales present an opportunity that could benefit developers and publishers in the long run. The numbers suggest that dropping discs could increase the amount of money publishers keep. I'm like trying to visualize that. However, the key question is whether focusing on profit alone will help the industry grow or risk harming in the near future. There's a breakdown. This might be a little easier to understand. So, price of a first-party digital game is $70. First-party physical game sale, $70. Retail digital store cut 0% for first-party digital game, obviously, and then first-party digital game is $21. License fee 15%, $0 for both digital and physical. Manufacturing. So, if we're looking at physical game sale, the price is $70. Minus the $21 if they're sold through a retail digital storefront cut. Oh yeah, so like Amazon, if you buy online Amazon or whatever, that's what that means. Okay. License fee $0. Manufacturing $3.5. So $3.50. Sorry. And publisher sales $45.50. So their share profits is, so this is what they're seeing. This is what they're seeing, and they're like, we want this. Business wise, yeah, that makes sense. I see where they're coming from business sense, but it's really anti-consumerism. It really is. They want this regardless of how many. They don't care about the, I think what it is, they don't care about the numbers, but the actual numbers of people like buying the game. I don't think they really care. They just see this and they want this. They compare this number to this number and they're like, no, we want this number. I think the other thing too is that they see how popular Steam is and how Steam works, and I feel like they're trying to be more like Steam. They're trying to be, especially with Xbox, closing studios, selling studios off, laying people off, right? Doing this whole reset is what they say. I feel like they're trying to be more like Valve, where they're just trying to provide a service rather than be an actual like, I'm gonna make games. They just want to provide games. I think that's what they're trying to do. Why they're doing all this. Why they're making all these decisions. Because they just want to provide games to you as quickly as possible and make as much money as possible. And I think that's why they're doing. And they're just and then the physical, and then they see these numbers and they're like, well, what's the profit here is not enough, so we need to get rid of physicals. We don't care. So I think that's what it is. It's sad. Business perspective makes sense. Consumer wise, it's dumb. So hopefully with all this backlash, hopefully with how maybe someday someone sees this whole debacle, sees how people aren't liking this, and maybe this new company comes around and we're gonna make physical discs. Screw Sony, fuck Sony, right? Maybe, I don't know. That would be cool. But also, don't. That's just high hopes. That's just wishful thinking, I think. So yeah. Anyways, let's head back to the game, and also, in case I do put this on YouTube, make sure to subscribe, like the video, all that fun stuff. And yeah, let's go ahead and get back to the game.